This is Beatrice Mady, Director of the Fine Arts Gallery at St. Peter's University. These times remain challenging and uncharted. The gallery has chosen to stay virtual, at least until 2021. This, however, does not mean that we don't have an exciting season lined up for you. Our first show is Serious Whimsy, featuring the work of Rodríguez Calero, Cheryl Gross, and Abby Levine. Whimsy because on a cursory glance, the work looks fun and playful, but on a second, better look, one can see the serious and profound nature of these works. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I did curating it. Stay well and be safe.
My name is Rodríguez Calero. The works presented are collage. The collage medium is a kind of surrealist art in which bits of flat materials are pasted together in an incongruous relationship for a symbolic or suggested effect. This blending of elements offers the unconscious mind an open-ended means to construct ideas and feelings of an instinctual and emotional involvement and gives pursuit to my own personal expression and ideas. Collage has a language and reason, which is impelling and enables me to translate an area of imagination, creative inventiveness, and intuition in visual form. Compositions of the human figure, breaking, decomposing, and rearranging, creates a puzzle of sorts, which is complex and fascinating like human nature. These conceptual images, which is the conscious experience of living, transcend abstract poetry and humor to a social and political urban presence, and evokes an image of familiarity and sentiment.
Rather than just trying to explain what I've been doing for the last year and a half, the projects that I've been working on, I'm going to read you the artist statement. Commit to Memory, The Precipice of Extinction is a multi-platform social commentary addressing the shifting and eventual disappearance of our culture using animals as metaphors with overall goal being socially relevant as well as visually compelling. Using animals on the endangered species list, I have created a representation of society teetering on the verge of collapse. As victims, illustrate the decline of the American democratic system. Use of the word extinction throughout the narrative is the blueprint of this project. A few examples. The elephant. The elephant alludes to the destruction of family and community. Scientists have long used footage of elephant rescues to measure humanity's ability to feel empathy. This aspect of the project questions the impulse to kill animals that make us feel love. The penguin explores the disappearance of societal structures. With the destruction of the Arctic, certain penguins are left with nowhere to go except man-made exploitive habitats such as SeaWorld. The African bullfrog was brought to the Americas for one purpose, to be living pregnancy tests for humans. These creatures used to predict life eventually became the destruction of an entire species of frogs as they carried a fungus eradicating the indigenous gold frog. This is reminiscent of indigenous peoples succumbing to European diseases. Extinction and Duplication is a continuation of Commit to Memory. It addresses how we will remember what will be lost through duplicating their images with toys and fabrications.
Here I am in my incredibly messy and disorganized studio, and my studio's been like this for a while now because I'm having a hard time working, which is funny because I think I did some of my best work during the George W. Bush administration and the run-up to the Iraq War and after 9/11. I would just come up with an image immediately, like when I did the piece about the green zone in Iraq. The first thing I realized was that that was where the Garden of Eden was. So then I got the image of the snake and the apple, and it all came together in that way. When I did the piece about Afghanistan, the Afghan Poppy, that was another central image that really captured my attention, and I was able to mix in a lot of the elements in Afghan society and the opium poppy and the oil, and I've always been very political, but at this point it's almost too much. It's almost too easy. So I haven't really done anything about the Trump era except for the piece Oligarch. When I would make pieces like that, I would use one of these, which is a scroll saw. The one I used earlier was much kinder, but it was also much more fragile. So the bed would tilt, and I would always be afraid that I was going to break it, but it was a very good saw. I started using wood burning as a linear device because I got really tired of the way I painted. I didn't like the way my line looked. I got very bored with it. So I thought, well, if I use wood burning, it will change the line and I can experiment with it. I also used to do a lot of etching, and it was very similar to etching. So I use a tool, let me get it. This is the Detail Master 4 Saber. I don't even know if they still make this. This is my old wood burning tool. It comes with a number of pens with different chips, and it's adjustable with its temperature, and you can put the different pens in depending on what you want. These were kind of, a lot of them are used for making duck decoys. And so there's a wide variety of tips for feathers and things like that, but I basically use the straight tips. I started doing the wood burning also because I was doing Western art because I was living in Texas, and I made a lot of like tourist stuff, and the wood burning was kind of a Western looking thing that I did, the Black Panther Party, because that's the most recent commission I did for my deceased client who is passed away in April. And so I did it based on the shape of the iconic Huey Newton chair, and it has a lot of it has a portrait of J. Edgar Hoover as a spider and strings that are the web that came out from him to cause all of the persecution of the Panther Party in the 60s, especially the death of Fred Thompson in 69. There you go. Bye-bye.